So some of you may have seen this video, and I'm sure many of you haven't. She puts a very unique spin on cell phones and what she thinks is dangerous. Some of the things I agree with, and there's a few things that I don't.
Okay, the devil cannot create. So what does he do? He tries to imitate everything that God does, and he just distorts it in his own way. This is a false connection. This is a false connection that we have with each other. We're so attached to our phones, scrolling and comparison, and all the doors that it just opens up. It's literally Satan and his demons working at hand through this. God can connect with us and speak to us, and he is omnipresent in many natural ways through the Spirit, not through a phone, but through the Holy Spirit. And Satan can't do that. He can't talk to us personally like Jesus can. So what does he use? He uses a phone for this false connection, for this false social living, giving us a false hope and a false identity of oh yeah, we're all connected, but we're actually not. How many people, please, because this is applicable to me, because I stopped going out to colleges and on foot praying to people and bringing them to God that way, and I started doing it on here. How many people do you go out and you physically see face to face and you talk to them about Jesus Christ and you talk to him about the deeper things in his word? How many? But instead we get on here because it's just easier, and it's just easier to connect and push out that way. But we are literally chained to our phones, because whether or not it's just for this, again, whether or not this is just because of God or outside of God, but we idolize our phones and we idolize the people that we are watching through our phones, and we compare ourselves and we want to be this person, we want to act like them. But then I want to tell you guys right here, right now, not everybody that posts Christian content or talks about God or just lives a certain way is actually how they're living, and you're trying to compare and become this person that you see on the screen when they are so far from God. And if you start comparing and actually becoming this person out of this idolization, you're only getting closer to hell, because they're not even close to Jesus.
So just real quick, I'm not going to do a lot of stopping of the video, but I just wanted to jump in here real quick. What do you guys think of what it is that she's saying? I do believe that a lot of things that are good, the devil, Satan, the enemy, whichever you choose to call him, I call him all the above. He has taken those things and has turned it for evil. Again, human beings have choice and they choose to do that. But it's sad. You look at when the internet first kind of got popular back in the late 80s, early 90s, it was a good thing. But then now you got the dark web, you got pornography, you got pedophilia, you got all kind of crazy stuff going on. Um, it's just crazy. So cell phones, yes, I agree. I mean, you can't walk down the street or drive without people's faces buried in their phones. Now, do I agree, like she said a moment ago, that she used to go out to college campuses and now she ends up talking to people about Christ on her phone? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think there's a balance because, like I said, God can use anything. You know what I mean? Scripture says that one man plants, another man waters, but God is the one that makes them grow. So whether you're on the internet or you're on your phone, I don't think there's anything wrong with using your phone. Do you have to be careful? I do agree that you have to be careful because there's a lot of false doctrine and honestly just a lot of garbage out there. So let's finish listening to what it was that she had to say.
God can speak to us because he's omnipresent. He can speak to us in many, many ways, and Satan cannot. So he uses what? He uses what? Phones. Everybody has phones. Everyone has phones. Is it not crazy to you that you can FaceTime somebody in China if you wanted to? You want to call somebody in Australia and you can. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. Come on. Someone watching this needs to have this clicking. Like, you guys, I cannot be the only one. Jesus decided to come in a time where there was no phones, where he had to walk to go and preach the word, where he had to get up physically and travel to go and touch somebody and lay hands on them to talk about the good news. And now we just sit back and just do whatever we want to do through a screen without any actual physical interaction with another human being. Like, is this making sense? Like, no wonder you feel so alone and so depressed. It's because your connection is through a phone, through wires, through chips, and through a computer. It is not authentic, it is not in the flesh. And that is how the 12 disciples and Jesus Christ lived. Jesus is literally saying that we're consumed by our phones, by the technology. He came in a time where there wasn't anything, and that is the example. Satan mimics everything that God does, and the phones is just simply another way of it. There is nothing organic and there is nothing spiritual edifying that comes from this phone, from this wired brick. Only a false connection. And no, this is not me disregarding how God can work through this, but this is absolutely a device from Satan. And all of these apps that we're constantly on and scrolling and that we're putting over God is absolutely from Satan. God did not create this, man did, from the worldly, earthly wisdom. And I literally just talked about earthly wisdom and heavenly wisdom that is talked about in James 3:13. There's absolutely a false connection with phones. Like, there's no other way to put it. It is just demonic. Anyways, go ahead, call me crazy. It's okay. I just know what the Lord tells me. I encourage you guys to get off your phones, like, seriously. And and go and physically tell people about Jesus. That's something that I'm going to start doing again, because Jesus did it that way. And so why am I doing it over a phone? Over something Satan has authority over. For goodness sake, most people have an iPhone. What's on the back of it? A bitten fruit.
Okay, let's try to wrap our heads around what it was that she was saying. So, as I'm kind of finishing up this video, I want you guys to drop your comments and any questions that you may have in the comments down below. But she said a couple things, and I took a couple notes. She made a comment about Satan being the author of this technology. So I'm going to go back a little bit further. What a lot of people don't realize, like I said a little bit ago when I paused the video, is everything that's been made was made by God. You read the book of Genesis, it says he created everything. Now, what we make out of that creation, iron, steel, buildings, computers, God created it all. So nothing that God created was bad. When he created everything, he said it was good. So I just wanted to start there. So does Satan take what God has made for good and turn it for evil? Yes, he's been doing that since the beginning of time. And like she said in the video, Satan is not a creator. Okay, he's a created being. He doesn't have the ability to create. But what he does is he plays on that and he plays us. You know, he mimics everything that God does. Christ, Antichrist. See what I'm saying? That's just one example. Um, so I don't necessarily believe that the app is satanic or these apps that everybody's on. Now, one thing she did say is that we spend a lot of time on our apps. Now, I do a ton of social media content, and I know a lot of people do. And do I spend a lot of time on social media? For me, it's not so much for entertainment purposes. I get a little bit of entertainment out of it, but I'm so busy between four different platforms that I don't really get to enjoy the platforms. It's just more about um, doing the content, whether it's for passive income or other reasons that I'm creating the content. But everything there's in life, there's a balance. Okay, it's the Bible even talks about doing things in moderation. Do I find that sometimes we get so consumed with social media that God gets pushed to the back burner? Yes, I do. I was convicted recently of this very thing where I've been so consumed with trying to build several TikTok channels, trying to build my YouTube channel, trying to build my Amazon influencer, and I have all these fires, my hands in all these different fires, And sometimes I find that I'm always exhausted and that God has clearly been pushed to the back burner. And I'm ashamed of it because if I want the blessings of God, I definitely can't put him last. God should be first in everything. So that was just the main thing I wanted to say about what this lady's saying. So there's a lot of truth in what she's saying. Do I believe that cell phones are as evil as she's painting? No, I do not. Do I believe that God can use a cell phone to reach the lost? Yes, I do. God will use everything. Remember, like I said just a moment ago, he created it all. He's going to use it for his glory because God's ultimate plan. You think when God created everything in the beginning that he didn't know that mankind was going to create technology and computers and cell phones, and that, we're going to turn our hearts away from him because we're more consumed with, shaking our butts on a screen, or, the next viral trend, or how many followers or subscribers that we have. Yeah, I get it. But only God will change the heart of that human being. Like, he clearly is convicted and has changed the heart of this young lady in the video. And honestly, I hope she doesn't stop making content on the internet because you can reach so many more people. And the Bible tells us to go out into all the world and spread the gospel. It didn't say how you had to do it. So, in that regard, I disagree with her. But again, I want you guys to drop your comments in the comment sections down below. I'd love to hear what it is you have to say and your thoughts on it. Make sure you like this video if you haven't done so already while watching it. Also, subscribe to the channel. That helps me out. And as always, I love you guys. I will check you on the next one. Later.